How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel for another bi-weekly Star Wars gaming news roundup video. This is the series on the channel where every 2 weeks we round up the latest in Star Wars game news in one big video. And man, what a couple of weeks Star Wars games have had. It's easily been the biggest 2 weeks for Star Wars games in well over a year, and we're going to round up all of it in this one condensed video. Now, I have covered some of the big news that happened in the past couple of weeks in their own dedicated videos just due to the scale of the news, but there has also been a lot that completely flew under the radar or has just surfaced since then and we are yet to cover. So in this video, we're going to go over a recap on all of the crazy news coming out of Lucasfilm games and Battlefront 2 absolutely exploding in popularity, and we'll touch on some of the news that, like I said, has just kind of flew under the radar, such as details for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, and some Jedi Fallen Order news, and more. So we have a lot to get to today in what is going to be just the most content-heavy bi-weekly news roundup video that I think we have ever done. So if you do want to be kept up to date on all things Star Wars games, then make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But now, let's dive into this. So we'll get into the smaller news first before we recap the really good stuff. Now, most of this just flew completely under the radar in the past 2 weeks, and we'll start with Jedi Fallen Order. So Jedi Fallen Order was actually lucky enough to receive a free next-gen upgrade. So Fallen Order did receive an update, and I don't think people even noticed, to be honest, given the amount of news dropping around this time frame. So this has actually warranted just another playthrough for Jedi Fallen Order for me and a lot of people. The player numbers are definitely rising after this. And the game's been performing incredible. I still think this is the best a Star Wars game has looked, particularly in the cutscenes. So if you were unaware, which odds are given the way the past couple of weeks have been, you were, now you know, so you can go check it out. Now also, other news that surfaced was in regards to LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. The lead hub designer for the game, Dawn McDermott, I think that's how you pronounce it, had an interview recently. A few really interesting details were actually revealed, and news has been scarce on this game for a very long time given its delays. But we finally have something worth talking about today. Now, it's been well covered that this game is going to be absolutely massive. We know this, but we got a bit more confirmation recently as to just how massive it's going to be. It was said in an interview, Dawn explains that there are around 300 playable characters in the game, already beating the character count in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 by 75. However, that obviously wasn't enough for TT Games, with the final number being near to 800 unique playable and non-playable characters. Dawn also names a few new characters that weren't previously known to be featured in the game, including Babu Frick from The Rise of Skywalker and the Wampa from the planet of Hoth. I must say, the fact that we're actually going to have Babu Frick in this game, I think is just hilarious. I love it. Like, Babu Frick is the man. So we are staring down the barrel of like 23 plus unique planets and locations and around 800 unique characters. This game is going to be so content heavy and huge, I can't even really begin to comprehend it. I personally am not into LEGO games in the slightest, but the sheer amount of content that this game is going to have has definitely piqued my interest, and I will be buying it, and I might even stream it. So, some really good news there for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga fans. But moving on, and as this is a bi-weekly news roundup video, we obviously need to round up the massive news coming from Lucasfilm Games, EA, and Ubisoft. Now, I do have dedicated videos talking about most of these topics, but for the sake of the series on the channel, and the people that literally just watch these videos to get the recap, I will recap the major talking points as well as some of the new stuff that has been revealed since. Now, I am also going to talk about Battlefront 2's resurgence, which is still continuing to grow, so we'll touch on that first and then get into the recap shortly after. So, Battlefront 2 has absolutely exploded in the past couple days. The game has seen a resurgence unlike any other. Battlefront 2 did have a really healthy player base on Xbox and PlayStation, despite the game not receiving content since April of last year. But the game was put on the Epic Games Store for free. Now, this has sparked an absolute explosion in the gaming scene, and Battlefront 2 is smack bang in the middle of it. Some of the biggest streamers and content creators in the world have started to play the game, and naturally, it means a lot of their followers and subscribers are seeing what the game has to offer and picking it up for themselves for free. I saw the Twitch Battlefront 2 live viewer numbers up to around 30,000 at one point, and that's probably one of the low points, to be honest. Now, before Battlefront 2 went free on the Epic Games Store, it was sitting around a couple hundred, so the game has blown up on Twitch and YouTube as well. Now, we know this influx of players did actually break the servers, so EA had to upscale them so people could actually play. EA just flat out underestimated just how many people would be playing Battlefront 2. Now, this of course, all of this just cannot go ignored by EA. They will be seeing this. They will be seeing the desire for a casual multiplayer shooter in the Star Wars genre, and Battlefront is obviously the franchise for that. EA, like I said, are going to be seeing just how much money they are missing out on right now if they had a stable cosmetic microtransaction method in place. But right now, they are kissing away money just watching it pass them by, and I don't expect that they're not going to react to that. Something is surely going to come of Battlefront 2 exploding in popularity like this, as this is absolutely ridiculous. And I will have a dedicated video talking about this specifically, coming very, very soon. But now, let's do a quick recap of the absolute insanity of the past couple of weeks in regards to Lucasfilm Games and everything that unfolded from that. So out of pretty much nowhere, Lucasfilm Games announced a comeback. They're going to be running, of course, Lucasfilm Games themselves, as they do have the Indiana Jones franchise, but mainly Star Wars games. Now, Lucasfilm Games also went and confirmed that EA will no longer hold the exclusivity to make Star Wars games once their contract is up in 2023, but exciting for us, that doesn't mean other publishers can't begin development now, and one of those publishers making Star Wars games now is Ubisoft and Massive Entertainment. They are currently in very early development and hiring for an open world Star Wars game. Now, this game will most likely come out, if we're lucky, late 2023 or most likely 2024. Now, it's widely speculated that this will be a bounty hunter game, which I think personally is a great idea. But if I was to get really personal with this, ideally I'd love to see an open world game set in the Clone Wars and you play as a Jedi, but you know, that's just me. Now, it was also confirmed that EA are currently working on multiple Star Wars games, so we don't just have Fallen Order's sequel to look forward to, there will be others, which is a really exciting prospect because they're obviously going to come more than likely in the next 2 or so years. Now, there have been rumors floating around in regards to a Battlefront spin-off or very shady rumors of a Battlefront 3. There's actually been a lot of leaks saying Battlefront 3 is coming, but I wouldn't really look too much into that until we find something a little more reliable. Now, what I think is the case, I think out of those multiple games, one of them will be Jedi Fallen Order sequel. I think that's pretty much confirmed. And I think another one will be a smaller project like Squadrons, so take that for what you will. And I think another one will be a Battlefront spin-off that has something to do with Inferno Squad from the Battlefront 2 campaign, as nearly all of the actors have been working together recently in mocap and in the exact same time frame. And they have been dropping teasers about it potentially being Star Wars, so that's my guess. Obviously, I'm not confirming anything, but the evidence is pretty coincidental. Now, I personally would be happy with EA just putting more focus back onto Battlefront 2 with a re-release or something, as opposed to focusing on a smaller Battlefront project, as Battlefront 2 is just the bee's knees right now, and I don't think that should be wasted. So, to say that the past couple weeks have been eventful for Star Wars games would be the understatement of the century. 2 weeks ago, Star Wars games weren't looking all that flash in terms of the future, and of course, the abandonment of its current games, excluding Squadrons, which is the smallest of them all. It's not been good. But this just goes to show just how much can change in such a small time frame. The future of Star Wars games has literally never been brighter than it is right now. And the recent news has opened up so many pathways as to where Star Wars games can go, and a lot of people are saying we might be entering a new golden era of Star Wars games like the early to mid 2000s. And you know what? I think we could be too, but I'll say this right now, there can be no golden era for Star Wars games without the Battlefront franchise. It was integral to the first golden era of Star Wars games, and it'll be just integral to the next. So hopefully, this noise Battlefront 2 is making can help ensure a future for Battlefront 2 or maybe a Battlefront 3, but I'm equally as excited for the confirmed open world Star Wars games and multiple projects on the way from EA. And then of course, seeing what Star Wars games we see beyond 2023 when things can really get into full swing with other publishers. So there is a lot to look forward to for us. But that is going to do it for this video. What do you think of all of this just insane news? Be sure to post your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for all things Star Wars games. But that is going to do it for me today. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.